What's happening, everybody? It's Dwayne with Off Grid, and today I'm going to show you guys my homemade bag filler station here. Okay, so first thing we should talk about are these little trolleys here that I made. It's just a rectangular box. You can see I made it with OSB. I made it the depth of these bags. These bags are 26 by 14. Okay, so I got my tape measure here. So the sides on this thing are about 24 inches. And the cart itself is 58 inches. So it's 58, 24 tall. And the width inside here is about 8.5 inches, give or take. Now, you can see on the back here, I just put a couple wheels on the back here. I got those at Harbor Freight. And now at the bottom, I made these plates. Now, the reason I don't have a continuous piece down here is because when you're filling these bags with dirt, the dirt will sometimes get between the bags and it'll accumulate on the bottom. So then what you end up having is a super heavy cart because dirt gets heavy real quick. And so when I go to pick this thing up, I can actually do this and it'll just leak out between these spaces right here, and then I can take them out to clean it out. So that's why I have these individual plates in here cut up at the bottom. Okay, you can see these little lines on the side. Now what these are for references for me, so when I do put the bags in here to set up for my next fill up, I know where the clamps are going and where the circles are going. Now let's talk about these things. Now these are from some pots, just some basic gardening pots. I needed something with a diameter here of about 8.5 inches. So these would be considered 9-inch pots, okay? These are perfect for these bags. Now you do need these because when you try filling these bags, if you don't have something to insert inside these bags and you start trying to accumulate dirt in there, the dirt will just sag the bags down. It's hit multiple times. I mean, I've already built an earth bag building once already, so I've tried a lot of different ways. Now I'll take you over here and show you the antique here. This baby, this was my first setup. This is what I used to fill all the bags for the earth bag building. You can see it's seen better days, and I used to just stick 2 of those pots right here. I'd fill 2 at a time. I did it all by hand. It was a pain in the ass. So learning from that, I said, all right, now if I'm going to build a house, I got to step it up a notch. So you can see right here, I made myself a sifter. Just took some 2x4s, 2x6s. I took an old pool gate that someone gave me and set it like on the top here, and then put one of these 1/2-inch screens, the stuff you use for rabbits, the welded wire stuff, put it on top here. And now I can either take the tractor and sift it down this way, or I could take a good old-fashioned shovel and do the exact same thing and just throw the dirt against it here and it'll sift. Now the idea it used to be is that people would take these sifters, you sift the dirt, and then there's a big pile of dirt and they fill their bags that way, and it's a long process. But the way I'm doing it here is I'm just sifting the dirt directly into the bags. Now the bags will get loaded up on my cart here. I take the cart over to the other side over there. You can probably see the pile from here. And I unload them and come back and a repeat. Now, as I did this a few times, I was learning with the tractor, sifting the dirt and just playing around, going back and forth. You can see how much dirt I got rid of already here in this giant pile. And what I figured out was a couple things were happening. Number one, of course, because there was only 2 carts in here, had all this extra space, so a lot of the dirt was sifting in the middle. It was getting caught in the middle. There was these huge piles. I ended up having to use a shovel half the time. So, I ended up shoveling a lot of dirt too in this process. But sometimes it's good to just make observations, be patient, just work your processes out, and then eventually you could come up with a good way to automate something, or at least somewhat automate it. The way that I do this now is I made these cutouts right here to put on top of my bags. Now I'll show you in a minute how they work, because what these actually do is they keep the dirt from going in between the bags and filling in between them and filling this damn cart with dirt, and then I end up having to scrape it out and stuff, and it's a lot of extra work that you don't need to do. So what these do is they sit on top here. You can see I have the cutouts where the clamps can go on each one of these things, and that's what those are for. And now underneath here, what these are, these little, look like little fighter jet fenders here. Basically, these go on each side of these carts. So there's cart here, and there's one here, one here, one here, one here. And all it does is it funnels the dirt directly into these containers. Now, I've already done this now, and I'll tell you what, man, this is great. I actually don't have to shovel very much dirt at all. In fact, it takes me probably just as much time to put these bags in here as it does to fill them up once I use the tractor. So it's a pretty sweet setup. I'm pretty proud of it. I came up with this myself. I haven't seen anything like it. So I feel like it's a pretty cool little solution to a problem I had, especially when you're filling thousands of bags. So yeah, I'm just going to keep using it. So I've already given you all the dimensions, and if you have any questions on this, you know, you can just put a comment down below, and I'll show you the rest of the process right now. Alright, now you can see how it's set up here on the inside underneath the sifter. You can see the dirt gets guided into the bags this way once it gets sifted, so it just kind of falls in that way, and it's a lot less work than it used to be. So you can see from the front here. Now, I'll still get some dirt falling on the sides and stuff, but that's okay because sometimes I need that dirt to top off a couple bags that may not get filled all the way, because usually what happens is the backside gets filled faster than the front, and so a lot of times I'll be left with a deficit here, so sometimes I'll have to take some sifted dirt and just kind of throw it in there. So it ends up working out in the end. But that's it, folks. Now I just use the tractor to sift the dirt in there. Alright, so now you can see here that the bags are pretty much filled up. The front one needs to be filled a little bit, but for the most part, the dirt's it's where it needs to be. And a lot less dirt between these things, and it's all guided in one spot. All I have to do is now clean it out. So part of the system here is just kind of working the bugs out, figuring out when you got enough dirt, moving the tractor at different spots on the sifter to fill the bags accordingly. So I'm getting better at that, but honestly, man, this is so much less work than doing this all by hand. So it's nice to have an automated way to fill these bags, and still got thousands more to go. Over and out.